Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all of the participants of today's conference. This session, I will presenting my research in the third international conference on computer science, engineering, and technology, or in TASIC. But today we conduct it virtually, and I will presenting my research. My research is improving computer programming competency for first semester computer science students through immersive project-based learning. I will presenting the research. My name is Ubaidah. I am faculty member of Primary Teacher Education or PGSD, Faculty of Humanities, Bina Nusantara University. My area of research encompass education of technology topics in instructional design, curriculum design, online learning, personalized learning, and also instructional media. If you're interested to collaborate with me, maybe in research or also in some other some other network in the area of my research, you can send email to me at in ubaidah@binus.ac.id. Okay, the background of my research. Basically, as we know, Indonesia has a population of over 277 million people, ranked fourth in the world in terms of population, and its human resources is one of the potential resource for future economic growth for the country. However, the Indonesia Human Research Competitiveness Ranking in the IMD World Talent Ranking in 2019 shows Indonesian rank at 32, indicating that the Indonesian education system still have many challenges to overcome. This fact also shows that Indonesian higher education system should create breakthrough to ensure its graduates are ready to compete in the world's knowledge economy and able to contribute to society as problem solvers. Since many Indonesians consider university education as the final stage of formal learning before entering the job market, it is important for universities to conduct teaching and learning activity that not only expose students with knowledge comprehension, but also the skills to creative solve real world problem. One of the effective learning strategies to answer these needs is project-based learning or PBL. Through PBL, students are exposed to meaningful experiences that trigger them to actively, creatively integrate the conceptual knowledge into applied solutions in solving problems. The research method that applied in this research is action research to apply in higher education setting to improving the computer programming competency. The setting on this research is a class in programming course in Bina University International. The action research process involves reflecting, planning, acting, and observing phase. Yeah, this one is reflecting. The reflecting phase is also referred to identifying and limiting the topics by reviewing what is already known about the problems or focus area and to learn more about the problem. And the second is plan. Yeah. In the planning phase, the research questions and methods are explicated. A plan is developed for taking action in action. A plan is developed for taking action. And the third phase is action. Yeah. Now, in action phase, researchers implement the plan or changes. Yeah, whatever is it. This is practice and collecting data activity. As in observation phase, researchers synthesize and analyze the data to find out whether the problems have been solved or needs more improvement. The cycle then the cycle is repeated until the learning needs have been resolved. What we have done on this research, the first phase is the reflecting phase. Therefore, the research think in the block mode setting, the course design needs an improvement in order to facilitate students to achieve the programming competency in allocated times. And the second is to ensure the satisfaction of students with the learning process. Based on those needs, researchers conduct some literature review that lead the research to applying PBL on introduction to programming courses. So we have two research questions. The first is the improvement in order to facilitate students to achieve the programming competency, and the second is to ensure the satisfaction of students with the learning process. This planning phase include three main activities. The first is designing course, second is designing and developing assessment instrument, and the third is training lecturer as PBL facilitator. And on the act phase, we implement the course design, all of the design and changes that we already planned in the planning phases. We implement it on the real class setting. As for the PBL that implemented in this research follow the following steps. The last phase is observing phase. In this phase, we implement the PBL in this phase. The implementation of PBL in this course is in Introduction to Programming course being evaluated, and as the evaluation result, we found that the PBL have proven to improving the programming competency, and students also satisfied with the learning process. The detail I will explain to you better. Okay, this is the detail in planning phase. Okay, course learning outcomes. In designing course, researchers design the course outline in such a way that it meets the needs and requirements of the expected student outcomes. Student will be able to first apply principle of Python programming in designing and developing a program, demonstrate knowledge and skills pertaining to the fundamental building blocks of object-oriented programming or OP, use data to generate interactive visualizations. There are three course learning outcomes for Introduction to Programming course. The most important thing in planning assessment is how to ensure the alignment between assessment and intended course learning outcomes. Therefore, we conduct mapping the intended course learning outcomes to assessment. Here is the mapping of assessment method to course learning outcomes. We have two kind of assessment, final project and final exam. Based on this mapping, then we develop the instrument. As for the final project, we develop instruction of the assessment and also the rubric criteria for the assessment. And as for the final exam, we develop the SI assessment. In the reflection phase, the learning done by students need to cover first. To achieve the programming competency in allocated times. Yeah, achievement the programming competency. And second is to ensure the satisfaction of students with the learning process. So we have two research question to be answered through the evaluation process in observation phase. First is achievement the program competency, and the second is satisfaction of students. In order to identify these needs have been met, an evaluation of the learning outcomes and satisfaction surveys conducted in this phase. Evaluation on course learning outcomes is being conducted to ensure the achievement of programming competency, and the satisfaction survey to ensure the satisfaction of students. The result based on the observation phase is we found that the course learning outcome 1 and 3 achieved, and the student satisfied with the learning process. I will explain the detail. Okay, this is the achievement of course learning outcomes. All of the assessment data based on the final project and also the final exams, we count it into the map course learning outcomes, and we calibrate it based on the rubrics to know that the achievement, the proficiency level of achievement, excellent, good, average, poor. At the end, we can get the data, the presentation data of each proficiency level. Okay. After evaluating the students' achievement data, one come to the conclusion that the PBL implementation for the course Introduction to Programming support the attainment of programming competence. Some aspects of the teaching and learning, such as the process of knowledge retention of the fundamental principle of programming, need to be improved to ensure the students' mastery of knowledge. As for the second question, in identifying student satisfaction toward the learning process, based on the research, one can be conclude that PBL can be implemented in Introduction to Programming course with improvement. Okay, this research examines a design, implementation, and evaluation of PBL in the field of computer science. An interesting finding was an improvement in students' engagement in the first semester student cohort. Additionally, the level of confidence of students in programming and software development has also increased. We suggest that research on PBL should continue and specifically deeply explore in 3 areas. The first is area of improving learning outcomes, specifically how knowledge retention of students can be improved through PBL. And the second is in the learning interaction. The research can explore deeper on the better understanding of self-regulated learning that occurs in PBL, since it encourages students to conduct self-learning session. And the third area can be explored is the development of alternative learning resource, specifically resource of digital learning that are effective for use in PBL. Okay, that's all with my presentation. I hope I can share my research and I can get some input through this conference, so I can get better quality of scientific paper. Thank you for your attention. Stay healthy and stay safety. Bye-bye.